Hello, here we go!
What's going on, guys? Bill's here from Achievement Land, and I'm here with the Xbox Weekly Recap. In this video, we go over the games that released each week. In this video, we're going to be going over the games that released the last 2 weeks, from April 18th all the way to April 29th. So April 18th to the 22nd, we had 22 games, and then April 25th to the 29th, we had 18 games. So it's like around almost 20 games every week. It's pretty crazy. So we're going to start out with April 18th to the 22nd. Like I said, there was 22 games, and the first game was Anuchard. This game is a retro-style action RPG, and it looks like it comes from the Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo generation. I played a little bit of it. It seemed like a decent game. I'm not sure if I'm going to really get into it, though. The achievements look like it's a straightforward and easy completion, but I'm not really sure. The next game is Ashland Dossier, which is some kind of spy simulator adventure game, and I'm not really sure how this game works. I haven't played it yet, but if you want to check it out, it's out now. The next game is AO the Clown, which is a side-scrolling platformer game, and it's from East Asia Soft. They usually put out quick and cheap games, but this is a longer and a more expensive game. It takes like 5 to 8 hours to complete, and it's a pretty straightforward and easy completion. The next game is Bit Orchard Animal Valley, which is a farming simulation adventure game in Game Boy style graphics. It's a pretty fun little game. It gets a little repetitive, but it should be an easy completion. The only thing is right now there's a broken achievement, but they know about it and they should be fixing it soon. The next game is Castle Formers, which is a tower defense survival game. It's really good. I actually enjoyed this game a lot. I made a walkthrough for it. It takes about 40 minutes to complete. And it's a game published by Ratalaika Games. Their games really vary from all different types of games, but this one was actually one of my favorites now. The next game is Katana, which is another game by Chili Dog Interactive. They usually put out games that have cheat codes in them, and this is another one. And you could just use the cheat code to go through this game very quickly in like under 10 minutes. And I made a walkthrough that shows you what to do. The next game is Crush Borgs, which is basically a Contra clone. It's a platforming game, and it's a really easy completion. You could die as many times as you want. It doesn't matter. You don't have lives. And it takes like 15 minutes to run through this game. And it's a game published by Xitilon, the ones that put up their games to 5,000 gamer score. So this one will probably get more gamer score in the future. And there's also a Windows stack, so you can play the game on Xbox and get 1,000, and then you can play on Windows and get it again. The next game is Deck of Ashes, which is a tactical card combat adventure game. I don't really know much about this game, to be honest. I haven't dived into it, and I'm probably not going to. It's not really my cup of tea, but if you know anything about it, you can write in the comments. It looks like it's probably going to be a hard completion, to be honest. The next game is Gan Ryu 2, which is a side-scrolling beat-em-up adventure game, and it's actually a sequel of a Neo Geo game from 1999. I haven't played it yet, but it looks like it's going to be a hard completion. There's some hard achievements, like completing the game without losing any lives, and also for completing it in under an hour and 15 minutes. But I'm not really sure. I haven't played it yet. The next game is Knighton Plus, which is an Xbox Series stack of a Ratalaika game, and it's a pretty easy completion. It's actually a little challenging, though. I went back to it, and I thought it was going to be really easy, but I was stuck at one of the bosses for a little bit. But it's not too hard. It takes about an hour or so, and it's a pretty good game. The next game is Liberated Enhanced Edition, which is a side-scrolling, platforming, stealth adventure game, and it's pretty good. You're like in a comic book, and it should be a pretty easy completion. People are completing it in like 3 to 5 hours. The next game is Lit Bend the Light, which is a cool puzzle game where you move around light and you have to get it to the end. And it's a pretty easy completion. It only takes about an hour or so. There's one missable achievement right at the end, though. If you press the wrong thing, you'll miss it and you have to play through the whole game again. So just make sure you look into that before you play it. The next game is Lamote, which is a puzzle platforming game where you control this bioluminescent creature and you have to platform your way through the levels. The levels are pretty long and some of the achievements are pretty challenging. There's like a speedrun achievement and also an achievement for not dying. So it's probably going to be a challenging completion. The next game is Metal Tales Overkill, which is a twin-stick guitar shooter roguelike. It's a pretty fun game. I didn't get too far into it, but it seems like it's pretty long and challenging. I don't know how hard it's going to be, though. No one's beaten it yet, but it's a pretty fun game. The next game is Mokoko X, and this game, I guess, is like a puzzle game. It's hard to put a genre on this game, but it's a great game. I really enjoyed this game. It's kind of like Quicks, if you ever played that back in the day. The whole point of it is you have to conquer portions of the screen, and you have to keep doing it until it's just like get a high enough percentage that you kill the enemies. And it's a really fun game. It's a challenging completion, though. There's this arcade mode where you have to go through all the levels without completely dying, getting game over. And that makes it challenging because if you die, then you have to start over. But yeah, it's a really fun and great game, and I definitely recommend at least checking it out. I did put up a video going through the arcade mode that hopefully could help you, or you could just check it out if you want to see what the game's like. The next game is MotoGP 22, which is a motorcycle simulation racing game. I don't know too much about it. I don't really play these games, but some people already completed it, and it took them around 30 hours. The next game is Neon Lore, which is a cyberpunk walking sim, and it's a really quick and easy completion. It only takes about 15 minutes to complete, and I have a walkthrough for it. The next game is Orbit Industries, which is a simulation management game where you build, install, and redesign space stations. It looks like it might be a little challenging and a little complex for me, to be honest, so I don't know if I'm really going to get into it. The next game is Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, which is a fun little top-down adventure game, and it's on Game Pass, and it should be an easy completion, but right now it has some broken achievements. If you play it on the PC, you can go through and get all the achievements. You just have to do it in one sitting, I believe. There is a patch on the way, though, to fix the achievements and also some other issues, so it might just be worth waiting. The next game is Winklejet, The Little Shop, which is a simulation management game where you build and run a little store, and you have to sell things, and you have to pay off your debt. It's a fun little game, and it seems like it should be an easy completion. And then the last game that came out this week was Winter Ember, which is a top-down open-world stealth game, which is really cool. I played a little bit of it, and I really liked it. It's definitely a quality game, and I'm looking forward to checking it out more, but it's a little expensive, to be honest. So there we go. That was all the games for that week. Now we're going to move on to the next week, which was the week that just passed last week, April 25th to April 29th, 2022, and there was 18 games. The first game is a Windows stack, and it's 7 Days to Die. This is the Windows version. This game was on Xbox. Now we have a Windows stack. It's kind of weird because the online servers for the Xbox version shut down, I believe, but the game still works and all the achievements still work. But it's a really long and grindy game, and takes a really long time to complete this game. So I don't know if you really want to touch this game, but it's on Game Pass if you want to check it out. The next game is also on Game Pass, and it's Bugsnax, which is a really great game. It was on PS, and now it made its way to Xbox, and it's really fun, and it's an easy completion. I actually was the first to complete it. I got it early, though, so it's not really much of a brag, but it was really fun and an easy, straightforward completion, and I made some videos for it if you want to check it out. The next game is Cyberpool, which is a pool type of game, but you actually don't have to worry about stripes or numbers or anything. All you have to do is hit the balls into the holes, and it's actually a really fun and easy completion. I made a walkthrough for it, and it takes about an hour to complete, maybe even less. The next game is Dandy and Randy DX, which is a retro-style top-down adventure game, and it's a really good game, actually. It's a game published by Ratalaika Games, but you actually have to play the whole game, which is a surprise for Ratalaika Games. But it was really enjoyable. I liked the whole game, the music, and everything about it, and I made a walkthrough for it, and it takes about an hour to complete. The next game is Galactic Wars EX, which is a shoot-'em-up game, and this is actually a challenging game. It's hard to complete this game. It's very skill-dependent, but I don't really know too much about this game other than it's pretty challenging, but it's not that long of a completion if you're good enough. The next game is Layer Section and Galactic Attack S Tribute, which is a shoot-'em-up game. I don't know too much about this game other than it's pretty expensive, and people are completing it in just a few hours, so it could be an easy completion. The next game is Micro Pico Racers, which is a top-down arcade racer, and it's by Jandusoft, and it's very similar to their other top-down arcade racer, Retro Pixel Racing, in so many ways. The difficulty, the achievements, they're pretty much the same, and it can be an easy completion. Some of the races are a little challenging, though. The next game is Ravenous Devils, which is a simulation management game where you run this shop where you kill people and sell meat pies. It's pretty funny, and it's actually a pretty fun and easy completion. The game is very straightforward and easy to learn and play, and it gets a little repetitive, but you keep getting upgrades that make it better, and it's a really easy completion. All you have to do is just complete the game 100%, and I don't think anything's missable. The next game is Raven's Hike, which is a puzzle game where you can only move around with your grappling hook. You can't walk side to side or anything. It's a pretty fun but challenging game. There's a speedrun achievement for completing the game under an hour. That's going to be tough, but it's only $4 if you want to check it out. The next game is Research and Destroy, which is a turn-based strategy game. It's kind of like Worms a little bit. You play as these scientists, and you have to go around and kill enemies and do missions within your time limit. It's a pretty fun game, and it's on Game Pass if you want to check it out. The next game is Rico London, which is a first-person shooter roguelike game. I really enjoyed the first game, so I was looking forward to this one. And this one's pretty fun, too. The only thing is it's really expensive. $50. I was not expecting that. It's only $20 for the first one. And it doesn't really seem like a $50 game, to be honest. It's a little repetitive and stuff. It's okay. It's a good game. I really like it. It has online co-op, so you can play 2 players. And it looks like it's going to be an easy completion, too. It's a lot easier than the first one. The next game is Rogue Legacy 2, which is a really great game. The first one was like an acclaimed game, so I was looking forward to the second one. I've seen multiple people say that it's better in every way, but to be honest, I kind of like the first one better for whatever reason. Maybe just aesthetically. I don't know. I kind of just like the way the other one played a little bit. This one, you're like a lot closer to your character and stuff. But it's still a good game, and I'm looking forward to getting into it more. But it's going to be really challenging, I'm sure. There's actually some easy assists, though, in this one. So maybe this one's going to be easier than the first one. The next game is Rogue Lords, which is a rogue RPG game. And I honestly don't know much about this game. Kind of stealth released. The achievements don't look too difficult, but the price is a little expensive. The next game is Super Mambo Quest, which is this platforming adventure game. You have to go into the room and like combo kill all the enemies and collect the coins. Seems like a fun and little interesting game. I'm not sure how challenging the achievements will be though. The next game is the House of the Dead remake, which is an arcade shooter game, and it's a really great game. I actually played the second a lot when I was younger. I didn't play the first one, so this was my first time playing the first one. It's pretty short, doesn't take that long to get through it, and it's not too hard. They give you a lot of lives so you can die a lot. But it shouldn't be too hard of a completion. There's different endings. But there's also cheat codes that apparently you can use. I didn't look too much into it, but I heard that there's cheat codes that apparently you can use. I'm not sure, though. I have to look into that and double check. But it's a pretty cool game. And there's actually a Japanese stack, so you can get all the achievements twice. The next game is The Serpent Rogue, which is an action-adventure game where you explore a medieval fantasy world, master the art of alchemy, and tame wild creatures. It looks like a really good game, and it's published by Team 17. They usually put out good games. But I haven't gotten the chance to play this game yet, but it looks really good. I want to play it. It's hard to tell how this game's going to be with the achievements. They all just seem like stuff you do in the game. Nothing for like completing the game multiple times or anything, so maybe it won't be too hard of a completion. The next game is The Sorrow Virus, which is a first-person horror puzzle adventure game, and it's pretty good. It's not that hard of a game either. It's a pretty easy completion. You need to do multiple playthroughs, but it doesn't take that long. It takes about 2 hours to get all the achievements. And then the last game is The Stanley Parable, which is a first-person adventure game, which is really funny and really great. The narrator like tells you what to do and talks to you, and it's really witty and funny, and I definitely recommend it. This is the game that has the achievement where you have to play the game in 10 years after playing it your first time, but you can actually just use the time and date on the Xbox and change it and get the achievement. I already did it, and it's a pretty easy completion too, and it's definitely a great game. I definitely recommend it. It's just a little bit pricey though. But there we go, guys. That's a recap of the games that came out last week and the week before. A bunch of good games. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and I'll catch you guys next time here at Achievement Land.